With a week's vacation booked, we planned to explore the Sunshine Coast in Penta. We headed down the Fraser River, buddy boating with our friends from the marina who were headed out on their own trip. At 6 a.m., the water was calm and the current running in our favor, so we kept up a good 6 knots all the way down. Breakfast. Homemade gluten-free scones, homemade granola, some yogurt, some local strawberries.
We're on Vancouver Island, just outside of Sydney, at Canoe Cove Marine. Came down to visit John in his new home, and we just out for a walk. Had a good trip over. Oh, basically no wind, no waves. Came through Active Passage, which was our first time. A little before slack, the ebbing tide, so current against us. And yeah, it was all good. Just watched the ferries and listened on the radio and tried to stay out of the area when they were passing through. Yeah, it was uneventful. Got some sense of why it might be a little dicey when on a good strong flow.
Yeah.
Or flood tide, sorry. Saw where some of the whirlpools would be, where some of the eddies would be. And there's one section that's only 0.2 miles wide. And it's right on a corner. So you definitely wouldn't want to be there when there's a ferry coming through. But the ferries always call that they're coming through. They hail on channel 16, so if you're doing what you're supposed to, you're monitoring 16, so you always know. But yeah, what'd you think?
Thought it was uneventful. That was nice. Nice introduction to Active Pass. Jordan said it would be fine. I believed him.
So, I don't know if we've talked about this, but I talked about it when John was going through that everything we've read and heard, we've been mildly leery about venturing through Active Pass. And
well, yeah, rightly so. If you go at the wrong time, you're screwed.
Yeah,
It's dangerous.
all the navigation software and all of the cruising guides, they all have a page full of warnings and things you got to watch out for, long descriptions of the conditions in which you don't want to be there. So your tendency is to say, oh, well, let's take Portlier, because A, it's closer to where we're usually going, and it gets us across the strait. It's a direct line across the strait. So anyway, now that we've done Active Passage and we know what it's like in those conditions, then we won't hesitate to go through there again in the future, but we will pay attention to the forecast and the wind direction and strength, because with some wind on a flood tide, I'm sure it's not very pleasant to go through.
So we're in Canoe Cove in Sydney visiting John, and they've gone out for a sail on a friend's boat. Oh my god, I'm so burnt. Forgot to put sunscreen on. But I've been working on Penta. She got scuffed up the other day when we got stuck on the dock at Steveston. The beauty of a wooden boat is that you can paint it, sand it and paint it just like a house. Although I've never painted a house that moves before, so it's not perfect, but it came out pretty well. Haven't finished. I've only done one side and only part of one side. The next day we said goodbye to John and headed toward Dodd Narrows on our way north.
That is Nanaimo. We just came through Dodd's Narrows, what was it, 45 minutes ago? there and into the Northumberland Channel Strait. I don't know what you call it. It says RCA on the avionics. Neither Anna nor I can remember what RCA stands for. But it's a little bumpy. 0.5 meter, and that's from the median height of the wave. So from low point to high point, it's a meter to 1.2 meters. And Anna's just doing a little research to decide where
Remember the bay in front of the homestead?
Yes.
You can anchor in there.
It's awfully shallow. But yeah, that'd be cool.
But they can boaters can anchor in the lee of Mother Goose Island Bird Sanctuary and slip into the bay by tender and reach their craft below. So I think.
So in here you can get by tender, but you anchor here?
Here, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, here they anchored.
Well, that could be fun.
That would be awesome.
What's that? Some little waves.
Northwest winds. So yeah, we need to be on the.
Got my fancy new shirt on. Anna got me for my birthday.
It's good timing with your course.
It was. I'll have to get Anna a first mate shirt. One drawback to the big waves and salt water is you get very speckled windows. But that's the first mate's job to clean those.
After a successful overnight anchor, we left Jedediah Island, bound for Jervis Inlet and possibly Chatterbox Falls if the timing allowed. It was a beautiful day to explore, but the day ended rather unexpectedly.